Hello everyone, my name is Suryanshi Singh and today I'll be presenting on the topic Can we have an Indian version of Dharma from a Dharma Rajniti perspective? This presentation explores how an ancient concept like Dharma can be reinterpreted in modern political life. When we ask whether we can have an Indian version of Dharma, the question is actually a bit misleading. Dharma is already deeply rooted in Indian philosophy and tradition. So, the real question is not whether Dharma belongs to India, but whether it can remain relevant in today's democratic and modern context. This presentation focuses on how Dharma can transition from an ancient ethical and social framework into a concept that can guide modern governance. And the central question I will address is can Dharma be reinterpreted to suit the needs of modern democratic India? So, first, let's understand what Dharma actually means. The term Dharma comes from the Sanskrit root dhru, which means to sustain or to uphold. It refers to the principles that maintain order, both in society and in the universe. One important feature of Dharma is that it is context dependent. It is not fixed, rather, it changes based on time, place, and social roles. A key idea from the Bhagavad Gita tells us that it is better to follow one's own duty than someone else's. This shows that Dharma is not universal, it is personal and situational. In classical Indian texts like the Mahabharata, Manusmriti, and the Bhagavad Gita, Dharma was explained in different forms. For example, Raj Dharma referred to the duties of rulers, and Varna Dharma referred to duties based on social rules. However, this traditional understanding was largely duty oriented and hierarchical, focusing more on maintaining order than ensuring equality. Now, if we connect Dharma with politics, we see that in ancient India, governance was guided by the idea of Raj Dharma. This meant that rulers had a moral responsibility towards their subjects. Thinkers like Kautilya also emphasized that political power should operate within ethical limits. So, Dharma acted as a normative check on power, ensuring justice and responsibility. This raises an important question today. Should politics be guided by ethical principles like Dharma or by practical power considerations? So, when we look at the question, can we have an Indian version of Dharma? The answer is yes. An Indian version of Dharma is possible, but only through reinterpretation. This involves shifting from duty-based and hierarchical system to a rights-based and egalitarian framework. In this sense, the Constitution of India can be seen as a modern form of Dharma. It provides a universal and inclusive moral framework for governance. In modern India, we can already see elements of Dharma in practice. For instance, B.R. Ambedkar emphasized the idea of constitutional morality, arguing that governance should be guided by constitutional values, not tradition or religion. Similarly, Mahatma Gandhi interpreted Dharma as truth and nonviolence. These principles were applied directly in political life. Even today, welfare politics and social justice initiatives reflect a form of Raj Dharma, where the state has a moral duty to ensure equality, dignity, and justice. This shows that Dharma, when reinterpreted, can function as an ethical foundation for democratic governance. However, this idea also faces some important challenges. First, India is extremely diverse, so the question arises whose understanding of Dharma should guide society? Second, there is a risk of misuse, such as religious majoritarianism or political manipulation. And finally, using Dharma in politics may conflict with the principle of secularism. So the real challenge is can Dharma be reinterpreted in a way that is inclusive, neutral, and democratic? To conclude, Dharma is not a rigid concept. It is flexible and evolving. Its ethical core makes it relevant even today. However, for Dharma to function in a modern Indian context, it must move beyond its traditional religious and hierarchical meanings. A modern Indian Dharma must be inclusive, constitutionally grounded, and secular in application, and should clearly follow the powerful idea in Indian philosophy, that is, Dharma protects those who protect it. Thank you.